Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here on the channel. Last episode, you would have seen I was out here in the garden clearing things out. I wasn't able to actually walk through this spot without hitting my head on various different plants. So if you missed last episode and you want to see kind of how we got to this point, go and check it out. I'll link it up in the top corner of the screen right now, or you can check it out on the channel, of course. But today we're going to be diving in. There's a couple of other things that we're going to be doing that we didn't do last video. We're going to be planting a couple more plants. We're going to be inoculating a load of seeds and then planting those seeds, some cover crop that we're going to be throwing all throughout here. I'm going to talk about why we're using various different things in the cover crop, what to watch out for, and then the various things that it can do to help improve your soil. Some massive things to get through today. I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for watching, and let's dive straight into the video. So as I mentioned last video, you would have seen all of these cover crop seeds. There are so many in here that we're going to be planting today. This is my number 2 blend. You can buy this on the website. It's a really good time to be putting this particular one in right now because it's winter here in Queensland and this is the time we want to be building soil. Look at the variety in there. It's just so beautiful, all those colors and everything. So many different seeds. If you want to find out what's in there, just go and check out the product description. You can find those in the description as well. But we're going to be putting these all throughout, not only this kind of what I would call orchard section where the fruit trees are, all the way through. I've got to move those chickens. We're going to move the fences in a second. But we're also going to be putting some throughout the main garden beds through here and interdispersing it in and amongst these plants. Now, I know a lot of you, I can hear you saying, are you mad? Are you mad to be putting clover and vetch and cowpea and snow peas in and amongst all of this? What that's going to do, Jordan, is it's going to go crazy and you're going to have it climbing up all of your plants and everything. Yes, I'm aware of this, and this is also intentional because things like snow peas, if they're growing up our very dormant acerola throughout the winter, we can get some snow peas. We can get some benefits fixing nitrogen into the ground below it. But what about vetch? What happens if it's climbing all over your papayas? We just pull it down, we chop it down, and then we drop it down. This is green manure, this is how it works. But what happens if we've got grasses that go and self-seed and they just go throughout the whole place? Or clover that just ends up spreading throughout the entire garden bed? It's intentional. We want these things in there. They're in there to do a job, to play a role in building our soil health, helping our gardens. And while yes, if you overdo it, which I'm probably going to do today, you might see the results of having these things competing a little bit. But at the end of the day, we want this system to be able to function on its own. We want this system to be able to have some sort of symbiotic relationship with itself throughout. And to do that, we need diversity in here. We need to be encouraging all the different diverse microbes. We want all of the life in the soil to be working cohesively together. And a great way to do that is to put diverse cover crops throughout. These are a living mulch, essentially. This is what we're going for. That we can then chop and drop progressively, feeding the soil, providing cover, providing nitrogen fixing, compaction breaking up, water penetration. Brassicas can also provide a little bit of pest and disease suppression, although we try not to have too much of those in here because they can damage the good guys a little bit as well. But we want to have a bit of diversity so that then throughout all of these garden beds, we're attracting the right microbes, building life in the soil, and then eventually we're going to have just thriving soil, even more than we already do underneath here in such a short time. The other thing we're going to do today is put in a couple of these plants. I've got a few here that are still in pots, which are desperate to go in the ground. We're just going to be thinking about where they might need to go and try and make some decisions. We won't be too kind of delicate about it, but we'll try our best. We've got a blackberry jam fruit in the front here. We've got Angelonia, the beautiful purple flowers. We have a Arabica coffee plant there, and then a pomegranate as well to be putting in. When it comes to choosing where we want to put these plants, we need to be a little bit careful about where we put them. For example, this pomegranate, okay, these are dry loving plants. They just love full sun, they love harsh environments, they do not like wet feet. So this guy needs to go in some full sun. Over here, once we pull out the leaning over sun hemp there and we harvest a lot of this rosella, this area is going to become nice and exposed. So just on top of the yarrow there, where we've planted where we've dropped all of that cover crop, we're just going to put this right there. So that might be a really good spot, just sort of filling out the end of this border for that pomegranate. The coffee, the Arabica coffee, it likes a bit of shade, likes a bit of moisture, likes a bit of humidity sometimes, and I think the best spot for this is going to be underneath here, which is underneath the pigeon pea and the ice cream bean. It might even sort of fill out the bottom of the ice cream bean here, but once we pull away this pigeon pea, it's going to make a lot of room for it down here in the root system. So I think we're going to go just off to the side here and put the coffee in there. The Angelonia, I kind of want in here. This is just sort of some nice flowers. We don't have too many here. And then the blackberry jam fruit is kind of where I'd already placed it, which was underneath the papaya here, just in this side, because this guy likes a bit of filtered shade. We're going to get that throughout the winter, and then once we build up the pomegranate and things on the other side, we're going to shelter it from the afternoon sun a bit as well. So I'll show you how I plant one of these things. First things first, squeeze the pot, give it a little squeeze for our blackberry jam fruit here, pull it out the pot. Wow, the roots are ready to go in. So again, we can kind of tease out the bottom of these roots. It just helps them to not grow in a circle still and not grow round and round and round. And then you can sort of tease them out like that, and then they've got a little bit to sort of shoot out and start going around. The next thing we're going to be using is the Nourish Me Organics mycorrhizal fungi inoculant. Now, there should, in theory, be some of this inoculant already in the soil. If there's living roots in the soil and you've inoculated with a good quality product that should be still alive and kicking, then you should already have it in there. I just tend to like to use it because we haven't got a huge amount that I've got to outlay for in terms of cost. So I like to always just put it right there on the roots anyway, even though it would find its way here eventually. But I just want to put this on the roots to get it inoculated and just to make sure. So I'm dusting around the root ball, and you can do this in the planting hole as well. You don't need a huge amount. These are just inoculating it a little bit in the hole there as well. So you can see it's all there, just surrounded, and then we're putting it in the planting hole there, like that. We're going to use the native soil to sort of all tuck around it. It's hard to know what's chop and drop and what's not at the moment. Tuck that in there. Plenty of mulch around. Ooh. And there we have it. First one done. So I'm going to repeat that process for the other three, and no need to show you again what it looks like, but that's exactly what I do. All right, now that that's done, I just need to take the chickens and ducks out of this area, and then we can start inoculating our seed. I'll talk about that a little bit, and we can just start spreading, just literally throwing it, having the best time of our lives. You may have seen me do this when probably nearly a year ago, when this was completely empty and I was getting it all set up. You would have seen me planting, I think the video is called planting pineapples and something, and thousands of seeds. I was just spraying them everywhere, and I didn't even think that any of them would germinate, but we got so much germination. So today we're doing the exact same technique. Spray and pray, throw and hope, whatever it is. But nature takes care of it, and survival of the fittest, and it certainly worked. So we're going to be trying that, and look, I think we might be getting some rain today, so that's a good sign. We're going to get all of this watered in, which is beautiful. Come on. Let's go. I need to jump over. Come on, ladies. Let's go. Out we go. Come on. I'm just down here by the banana. Look at this. This is all the rubbish that comes over from next door at the bus stop. It's terrible. I have to hold on to that. But look, volunteer nasturtium coming up underneath the bananas here. We've got... Just tried to pull this off, but didn't do a very good job. So this is just more banana mulch. Go down the bottom here. Remember when we started, we wanted to avoid pups like this coming close to the fence because it's just going to eventually grow into the fence, isn't it? So I need to come in and chop out this. So I'm going to grab my tool and get down as low as possible and chop that out. So I've got my Japanese sickle here, and then all I'm doing is kind of just cutting at an angle underneath the soil. And you can kind of slice it off like this. It often will regrow out of that. More rubbish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, down with our seeds now, okay? Quite a lot of seeds, plenty, far too much, honestly. But because I've got them, some of them are getting close to their sow-by date as well, so you might not get full germination rates, but it's all food for the soil. If it doesn't germinate, remember, it's seed meal. It's just gonna go in there and feed the soil eventually anyway. So to inoculate these seeds to give them the best chance, again, we're providing the Nourish Me Organics mycorrhizal fungi mix. We're just gonna spread a bit in there. So this is gonna form that relationship with the plant root as soon as it comes out of the seed. So we're just hoping to have a light coating on all of these seeds here so that when that seed germinates, it's got that inoculant right there to form that relationship. You doesn't have to go looking for it, it's got it right where it needs it. The second thing that I brought out here is some of the number one blend. Again, this is another product of mine. On the website you can find this. Slightly updated mix, only slightly, but this has so many different organic amendments in it, including some really good plant growth promoters like kelp and things like this, fish. So we're going to use a little bit of this, nothing too crazy, just to sprinkle in again to inoculate the seeds. So this just gets worked through, maybe a little bit more just for good luck. It's not going to be a problem if you overdo it because it's just going to go in there and feed the soil. All of this is going in the soil anyway. We just wanted to have this close, touching the seeds, so it's there, ready for inoculation. It just gives the seeds so much more chance of becoming the most, I guess, expressed version of itself that it can, the best expressed version. So before we go and spread these, I'm going to go and spread this everywhere and then mix it in with my fingers just lightly, and then we're going to go around with this. So, for example, a handful, okay, in under our newly planted one. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Don't throw my hand into the stinging nettle. And then come down here and see how it's just sort of sitting on top of the soil here? This is when you do that, give it a little shake, and it goes through to the soil layer underneath. And it's not necessarily exposed. You can water this in as well, does the same sort of job, and it will be fine. So just keep doing that sort of thing. So I'm gonna go around and finish that over everywhere. All right, now that that's done, the fun begins. So, nice big handful like this. And then, woo! This is my favorite part. It's just spray and pray, everybody. Thank you. More through here. More through here. Of course, more this side. Okay. I overdid it. I ran out of seeds early. So all of this orchard section probably only has half the amount of seeds that I wanted to put in it, and these garden beds have twice as much that I wanted to put in it. See what happens when you get excited? You just throw it all out there. Now I'm lucky I can do this. I've got all the resources to be able to do it. But if you don't, then you might want to be a little bit more sparing when you first go around and do all of this. But it's done now. I can go and get some more if I needed to. It looks like we're gonna get a little bit of rain. But I'm gonna do a little preemptive watering anyway, just to make sure all of these are all glued in. So I'm gonna go and do that now. We're gonna see the results of it in a couple of weeks. But for now, that's it. That's today's video. If you learned something, please let me know. Drop a comment. If you've got a question, a follow-up question on any of this or how you might utilize it, then please ask the question. Otherwise, you can go and find those two blends online on my website. You can buy those. A really good time to be putting in cover crop and green manure at the moment. Subscribe to the channel because, as I said in the previous video, so much is coming out this year. Plenty of big garden festivals and talks along the way, as well as obviously all of this garden, what we've got going on, plus the experiments, plus we've got Living Soil Mastery online. The Soil Society is kicking off. So much to bring you. So thank you again so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care and bye for now.